Hello, and we are back at Guildford for another Kia Super League match. Quite a lot has happened since we last made a video. 2 of the 3 finalists for finals day are now confirmed, aren't they, Sid? And who are they?
So the Western Storm, who we're going to be seeing here today, play the Surrey Stars. They're through to the final already. They've got a 100% win record and 100% killing the Super League record so far.
And how have they managed to be so dominant, Sid?
Well, it's been kind of interesting actually, because in some ways they haven't been quite as dominant as they looked at one point last year. There's been a couple of close shaves for them where they've been pushed to very late in the game, but they've always come through. And they've got that long batting lineup. They've got some good bowling, and at the moment they're looking unstoppable. But as Surrey proved last year, all you've got to do is win those matches on finals day. So let's see how it goes for them. They're straight through to the final, but they've still got that to do in Brighton.
Sure, in some ways it feels a little bit like they've been playing like Australia did in the Ashes, and that they've actually been winning the key moments in very close games, which Australia obviously did in the first couple of ODIs. So Western Storm, the next Australia. And the other finalist, confirmed finalist?
Loughborough Lightning. So, they got through last year. I have to admit, we didn't fancy them this year, but they've done the job. Why have they done the job? Well, they've got two players that have really stood out for me. Mignon Dupree, who has come in this season for the Lightning after being let go by the Vipers, and she's really kind of proved them wrong, I suppose. She's proved the doubters wrong. She's really come and performed very well in the T20 format. Probably had the best T20 tournament of her career. She's played a lot of these tournaments before. She's done really well. The other key player for the Lightning, I'm afraid it's not Ginny Gunrath, it's Bryce from Scotland. Bryce has Loughborough Lightning kind of realised there was a little bit of a loophole in the rules that allowed them to get a 4th international player as long as they were not from an ODI playing country, and effectively as long as they were from an EU country, because otherwise they wouldn't have got a visa. And they spotted that would allow them to bring Bryce in, and she's been brilliant for them. And she's bowled, she's batted, and she's done the job. So that's been really good for them as well.
Yeah, sure. I feel like we were witness to the start of their resurgence here at Guildford about 10 days ago, and I was wearing my purple Lightning t-shirt. They were playing the Stars. The Stars had a really good start to the tournament, but have kind of actually gone downhill a little bit since that match that they lost against the Lightning, whereas the Lightning have kind of done the opposite. So that's brilliant to see them back at finals day. Really, really pleased for them. And then the last place at finals day will come down to these last couple of group stage matches. So it's between the Southern Vipers and the Yorkshire Diamonds, isn't it, Sid? What you've been doing a little bit of maths this morning, and you've tweeted about that. What have Diamonds got to do to get to finals day, because it is a little bit of an uphill battle still for them, isn't it?
Yeah, well, first of all, Diamonds have got to hope that Vipers lose both their matches. If Vipers win either of their matches, then Diamonds are out. Diamonds have got to win both their matches, but not only have they got to win them, but they've got to win them with a bonus point. So they've got to do that bit of the job, and they've also got to overturn a big advantage in the Southern Vipers net run rate. Very roughly, what the Diamonds have got to do is something like got to win both their matches by around 40 runs and hope that the Vipers lose both their matches by about 40 runs, and then they can still, it's definitely possible, but it's an outside shot. Okay,
I guess I backed Diamonds, didn't I, in our original KSL preview to win overall. So I think that they've had a difficult start to the tournament, but again they've been the team that have had a little bit of a late surge. So I'm feeling like I've not got as much egg on my face maybe as I did 10 days ago, which is great. I guess what's been really important in that has been Alyssa Healy coming to the party eventually. She has had kind of one particularly good innings of late, hasn't she, where she showed what she can do in the T20 format, and I suppose I was hoping that she would bring that a little bit earlier in the competition. I really thought she was a brilliant buy for them. The other thing has been Katie Levick with the ball, has been so fantastic for them. She's been really consistent across all 4 Kia Super League tournaments, but particularly this year she's been kind of bowling in the power play and just doing brilliantly for them, and that's been great to see. And Jemima Rodrigues, the Indian 18-year-old. Again, I thought when we heard that she'd signed for them, that she was a really good signing. She's maybe kind of taken a little bit of a while to get into her stride, but has been doing the business for them kind of at the business end of games, hasn't she? And really taking them across the line in those pressure situations. So Diamonds again, another sort of late performer, but could potentially still get to finals day. So that's great.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's the Kia Super League. Now we were here at a match last week, Raf, when the match was all going on when some interesting news came through on the hot wires, as they're called.
Yes, it certainly was on the hot wires. We were here when we heard that Mark Robinson had stepped down as England coach / been fired, whatever you want to term it. Yes, so we were here when that press release came through.
We were. So how surprised were you, Raf, on a scale from sort of, a mild shock from a cheap Primark cardigan through to 240 volts from a dodgily wired plug? How surprised were you?
Probably more the latter option of those two. I think it came as a surprise to basically everyone. It certainly came as a surprise to the England players, who obviously had to be, as they were coming off the pitch after the game, had to be gathered together by the ECB's representative here and told the news, and they were very surprised. None of them had any idea that this was coming. We'd seen Mark Robinson at a couple of earlier matches in the tournament and in this Kia Super League, had a couple of conversations with him. He seemed completely oblivious to what was coming, because otherwise why would he have been at those games? He obviously saw that as part of his job as the England coach, to keep an eye on what was happening in the Super League. So there was certainly no indication initially when the Super League started that he had any idea that this was coming. I think it's as I wrote in the Guardian piece, it's a real shame, and it does feel like he's been made a little bit of a scapegoat for what was a disappointing summer. But can you do very much when Australia are so much better resourced as a side? Anything to add?
No, not really. I mean, you've pretty much said it all. I think that we were shocked. Is it a good thing? I don't think so. I think that there are some great options out there. I wrote about one of them in a piece for Cricket Her this week. Julia Price would be a great option for England, I think, for example. And there are plenty of other great options as well, including someone who's here today, Trevor Griffin, Western Storm coach, definitely another possibility. But I think that England are going to really miss Mark Robinson. I think that they could have really done with him sticking around for another couple of years, and I think it's a pity. And I haven't always said that with England coaches. England coaches have gone in the past, and I've gone, good riddance. I'm absolutely not good riddancing Mark Robinson. I'm, if there was a door, I would be standing in front of it, not holding it open for him.
Well, what's done is done, and we'll wait to see what happens with the England coaching job. But for now, we'll see what happens with Surrey Stars against Western Storm. What do you reckon's coming ahead of us today, Sid?
I think a storm and some falling stars.
Well, there we go. We'll bring you all the action from Guildford.